really isn't anything out there like this, where we could act very quickly, within days. What I wanted the mission of Community Backstop to be, and everybody embraced it, and we've been right on ever since, is that one, we've all been very blessed, and two, we've all been donating either through our church or to a cancer society or heart association. So we've all been somewhat generous, but I felt that there were people that were falling through the cracks, and right here in our backyard.
And Todd and I were, very quickly on board and decided it was a terrific idea. And we certainly had some of the same thoughts with our charitable giving, and we really hatched it right there.
So we set up the 501c3, and by January of '06, Community Backstop was in existence. The first fundraiser was in April, and it was a success. Community Backstop's a little different in that we are right in the community. We see a need with the families or folks that are coming, I'd say, immediate contact with someone in our group.
The notion that it's really easy to just give money away. I mean, many people in this area, many of the friends, many of the people involved in this have been fortunate. Been fortunate in business, education was provided for them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of folks right here in our backyard that need an additional assistance.
It's the concept of helping people, and there's a lot of charities out there, but it's the helping of people that really are right in our neighborhoods and in our communities right here on a smaller scale that oftentimes wouldn't be reached or wouldn't be found by the larger charities.
In our second year, we feel that we are starting to make a difference. We are seeing a lot of different opportunities where we can come in and make an immediate impact in different families' lives. And to me, that feels good at the end of the day, rather than just spending time on a given charity and not seeing the end result. With Community Backstop, we really see that immediate impact.
But we also wanted to dig a little bit deeper and find people who are in that circumstance, who are really good, solid people.
Many traditional programs, charities, have been focused on inner city plights, and what we have found over the last year is that the needs are shifting from, they still exist in the center city areas throughout the United States, but what we're finding is that the suburban areas are also having a growing need.
One of the early experience of actually helping someone was an elderly woman who was having problems with her hearing and was unable to get hearing aids, and she met us at Andrew Panzo's office, and I was there for the actual event of giving her the hearing aids. And it was really a special moment because she was so thankful and so grateful, and that was really, to have something like that very early on in the process was great to see.
Almost 77 years old. I have 2 knee replacements and fibromyalgia, polymyalgia, and a heart problem. And I started with a hearing problem, I'd say, in my 50s. I couldn't understand a lot of people and when they talked to me, and I also had problem, I couldn't understand music at all. Music just sounded blurry to me. When I take my hearing aids out, I'm like deaf. Also, when I'm outdoors, it's very important, like I walk the dog, and in this neighborhood we have no pavements, so I have to walk in the street. So it's very important that I can hear automobiles coming from in back of me. I have a friend who lives here, Maureen McTammany, and she told me about this organization. So I met with Andrew and his partners, and they did give me a check for the hearing aids. I was very, very grateful. They were so kind, and they were, I just couldn't believe that they would do this for me.
My wife is a physical therapist. She is a director at a nursing home, and there was a gentleman there that was spinal cord injured and needed a wheelchair. And she identified him as a potential candidate for help.
I had a history of working with patients with spinal cord injuries and a specialty in that area from having worked at McGee Rehab Hospital for over 10 years. And then I heard his story, and it became, I knew that Andrew would respond the same way I did.
Okay, back in June 1996, my mom boyfriend shot my mother, my sister. I got shot in my neck, and I ended up paralyzed. I was in the hospital and the rehab for about a year. I had complications, and I was back and forth.
That he had a chronic problem with the pressure sore, that a better chair would definitely help for that to get better. And I told him that I would do what I could to get him a different chair. Basically, the customization of it is his shoulder is lined up over the axle plate for increased efficiency with propulsion and decrease the likelihood of shoulder injury. He looks 100% better. He's able to get around so much better and is able to go out in the community and access the community easier and at less risk for further injury.
Well, basically, this new chair, I have a better posture sitting up. I'm not slanting. My legs are resting properly the way they're supposed to be than the others I had. It's more comfortable than the one I had before.
When I was in Greg's room, I saw a picture of a little girl that was about the age of my daughter. And I said, "Who's this?" And he said, "That's my daughter. I had her right before I got hurt. But now, in the type of chair that he has now, he's more able to access paratransit and other means of transportation, so he could actually go to see her."
A grandmother left to take care of 4 of her grandkids for certain reasons that were not her fault. So these are good people, hardworking people, caring people that just run into some bad luck.
I had been taking care of my grandchildren for the last 3 years, and my mother was incarcerated off and on during the last 3 years. And I'd lost my job, medical benefits, and I had to stay home and take care of the twins. They're 3 now, but at the time they were just born. And we have a 8-year-old, Stephanie, Kayla's 7, and Andre and Eva Rose are 3 now. So when I lost my job and lost my medical benefits and everything, I didn't have any way to provide for them. Okay, my job physically was too much for me to continue both, taking care of the children and working. Stephanie, Kayla, and Andre and Eva Rose were sleeping on the floor. At the time, the springs were coming through the mattresses. Community Backstop was immediately responsive to my needs. Andrew made it so that he could come over, at my convenience. And he was, really willing and ready at that time. And he told me to go out and pick out what they needed. Community Backstop helped us at Christmas time as well. When the community is like this and people are out there reaching out and helping people that really need it, it's what it's all about.
The family was in between. They were in transition. And during that transition period, unfortunately, this young girl went into a diabetic coma. We were able to reach out and help them address the medical bills that piled up while they were in between coverage from one employer to another.
The church community and friends and neighbors have been very helpful in identifying those people that may need or may want to be introduced to Community Backstop.
Every time that we help someone, we know that to love another person is to see the face of God. And that's why I really enjoy when Andrew Panzo and Ken West approached me about Community Backstop, is that here's another opportunity for the face of God to become real and present and powerful. We're touched to know that at Christmas time, as you know, when all of us need to see a little bit of light in the midst of darkness, it was so beautiful to know that the wealthy were sharing their blessings with the poor were sharing their need. We know Jesus always said the poor are always with us, but the rich are also with us here, so that it's important that you put the two together and the blessing of God's pour forth.
Community Backstop's all about making a difference and making a difference in the community that we all live in.
Community Backstop can come in immediately and solve that issue and really target that individual's particular needs and get that particular device for them quickly, and really remove a lot of the red tape that other agencies have put in place.
The neighborhoods that we have been able to help are really what most people consider to be middle-class neighborhoods when you think of Havertown and Media and Newtown Square. And I think that's what makes this Community Backstop focus a little bit unique and different, is that they're neighborhoods that a lot of charities would otherwise not think of needy people coming from.
If we don't do that, if we don't proactively reach out to those people, in all likelihood, they're going to have a very hard time finding assistance elsewhere.
It's a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of people in the communities surrounding us that need help, and as that need arises, we are going to be there for them.
And as we head into our second year, again, I think the folks that we've brought into the organization dream big, and although we had a tremendous amount of success in year one, the primary objective is it's not enough. We can do better, we can double it, we can triple it. We're not setting expectations for a 10% increase. We want to double this thing. We'd like to take it nationally.
This organization, everybody was really excited about it because we felt that this gives us a chance to really impact the community that we live in, and that for those who maybe have had a setback, that we can make them feel comfortable during that time of need.
When I discuss this with people, either at soccer practice or baseball practice, usually they're excited and happy that we are local, we're part of the community, and they really do come out for the event.
And this is the kind of thing that we could start at this point in our lives and really build for years to come.
We would like to then bring Community Backstop to other cities around the Northeast, and then continue bringing it out throughout the country.